I'm Kritik Ranjan. I'm from Delhi, which is where I met Venkat sir when I was preparing to come for US admissions to schools. Um, I applied to colleges in like 2017, and I went to Cornell University for electrical and computer engineering major. Uh, and with it, and I was fortunate enough to receive Tata scholarship. Uh, which was great. And after that, I've been a PhD student at the University of Colorado Boulder, studying, doing my PhD in creative technology and design. Yeah, of course. So I was at Cornell University, which is in upstate New York, from 2018 to 22. And my major was electrical and computer engineering, which is in the College of Engineering. In out of the seven colleges. I think I had personally had a really great time over there. I got to learn a lot. I got a lot of great academic and otherwise experiences. And even though while I was an electrical and computer engineering major, I tried to expand beyond my scope. So I was taking classes in other subjects like philosophy, German, design, and a lot of that has actually led into the kind of work I'm doing right now. And it was really great to have that opportunity to not just be restricted to the classes that you would need to take in your major, but you can expand and kind of expand your horizons. And other than classes, I tried my best to be involved in a bunch of different activities and clubs and of sorts. Like over the 4 years, I was a part of Cornell Autonomous Underwater Vehicle project team, where we would design autonomous submarines to compete in this international competition that's held every year somewhere in the US. So that itself was a great experience and gave me a lot of practical skills as an electrical engineering because I was on the electrical team, but also working with a bunch of other talented people, which overall was a great experience. So I I think overall being there definitely gave me a lot of opportunities that I don't know if I would have had any other way, and I try to make the most of them. I mean, again, like I'll pretext anything I say based on the fact that I've only have personal experience going to Cornell, but I have a bunch of friends from my school in Delhi who came to different universities. Some of them went to Purdue, some of them went to University of Washington. They all also really had great experiences. I think one definitely very clear distinction is the fact that most Ivy League colleges are much smaller, and then you're part of a much smaller cohort, and you can get to know people in your major and even beyond. Like in case of Cornell, which is the largest Ivy League college, but we had a total of 16,000 undergrad students compared to other universities that can go up to 30, 40, even 60,000 students. So that I think just being in a place where it's much I mean, it's a much closer community, and you're not overwhelmed by just the number of people you see around you. So that makes a big difference. And otherwise, I think uh, I would say in terms of the holistic learning experience is at least it may or may not be the same across different Ivy Leagues, but in case of Cornell, as I mentioned, that it has seven different colleges. One of them is an architecture school. One of them is a human ecology and design school. One of them is a agriculture and life sciences school. So there's like so many different colleges, which gives you the opportunity to get meet all these people that are completely going to be different in from your major. And that I think really helped me a lot. Like I had some friends in very diverse majors that gave me a sense of what it means like to be in that kind of a space, and learning with those people was really cool. Which I think differs from college to college. But in case of when your CS cohort is like 2,000 people, it's very hard to know anybody beyond the people you attend classes every day with. So I think that itself is a uh, nice change. And otherwise, I think in terms of job prospects, like I know that uh, a lot of like universities in the US don't really have career or like placement things like colleges in India do, but they still have career fairs where universities come in to recruit people from the college directly. And in cases of like, even though names are here and there, but like sometimes you do see name of your college carry that weight, when you apply to companies and when you talk to people at the career fair, which I think can help you in the long run. It depends from person to person, but I think that can be an advantage as well. Majored in electrical and computer engineering, also short for ECE, which is one of the common engineering majors across US for sure. In case of Cornell, it arose from electrical engineering, and I think like back in the 70s or 80s, they change that to ECE. And the really core of that is that like so it itself a diverse major. You could do more of electrical stuff, analog circuit design or power electronics and things like that, or you could do more of computer engineering, which involves things like chip design and other circuit design things. So like it has a different bunch of different branches itself. I focus more on like digital systems and embedded systems, where like working with microcontrollers to build different kinds of devices and interfaces. Uh, but like I have a friend who focused more on chip design and analog circuit design as well. So it's a whole diversity, but it rises from the combination of electrical engineering and computer engineering. So I guess in my case, I had decided a little relatively earlier to decide to go to US in I think ninth grade. So back then is when I was trying to look into what is required, what are all the steps that you need to take. And as you mentioned, one of the most common is working through all these standard exams like SAT and ACT, or back then there also used to be subject tests, the SAT subject tests, which I don't think there are anymore. So I found out about all of those and started preparing. That's when I interacted with Venkat sir first. Venkat sir helped me do a very rigorous and comprehensive SAT preparation, like when I was in ninth and 10th and 11th grade, because that's when I took the SAT. And also for this math subject test, like I think uh, working with Venkat sir to do as much practice as I could and understanding all the not projects, sorry, all the concepts at a very uh, fundamental level is what's the most important because like the exams, these exams, SAT and all are structured in a way that test your conceptual understanding. So it's very important to know every, not just memorize the formulas, but also know how they work and how they can be twisted. And that kind of understanding was something I really got from Venkat's working with Venkat's. And after all that practice, like I managed to get an 800 in the math in my SAT as well as 800 in the level two math subject test, which again, I don't know if it exists anymore or not. But so that's where like working with Venkat sir in figuring out all those tests and patterns and coming up with strategies to do the test on time. Like he taught me math for these exams, but even beyond math, just thinking about how your mindset needs to be to take an exam like this was something I learned from him, and that was very, very helpful, hands down. Yeah. So after I'd taken all the exams, and I also prepared for APs, which I think I took after my 11th grade. And like I took three different APs. One of them was calculus BC, and for which I also was taught by Venkat sir. And that again, like as I said, all of these need you to have an understanding at a fundamental level, which was something that he really helped me develop from the ground up. And it was I'm very thankful for that. Yeah. Yeah, I think like after I had all the exams and stuff ready, like I guess the next step is coming up with the college list, which which like I think he was very like his advice is very useful in terms of thinking about what my potential is and what kind of colleges I should apply to and can apply to, and which is what like eventually led me to decide that Cornell is going to be the college I apply to ED, which is an early decision, and that's why what I ended up doing. And I got in ED, so I didn't really have to send any other applications after that. But like figuring out what kind of colleges to apply for, and also then based on that, preparing the portfolio, preparing the application essays, and like thinking strategically about what uh, this whole process takes was a part. I think it was very helpful. Bank itself for sure, and I guess to go more deeper on that, like kind of the I think development of the mindset that you need or you can be benefit from when you're applying to colleges in the US because it's a very different way of thinking than you would need if you're uh, going through IIT or other entrance exams. So developing what is important and prioritizing things like extracurriculars, or I guess we shouldn't even be calling them extracurriculars because they're more like co-curriculars, that they're not extra, they should be done, and they're really important for an application in US universities. So all of those things, coming up with all of those things, and at the same time on the other side thinking about tests and how to prepare for tests, not just preparing for the content, but also preparing for uh, your thought process while you're taking the test is something that Venkat sir definitely taught me, and like how to be calm during a test and how to think clearly because that like, the questions aren't hard, but if your head is clouded or not clear in any way, then you'll just get silly mistakes and get them wrong. So keeping that kind of a mindset is something that I definitely learned from Venkat. Yes, I mean, I kind of answered in the previous question, but yeah, I would definitely recommend again to uh, anybody who's aspiring to apply to universities in the US to go through the entire process of like yeah, preparing for the all the tests, coming up with the application also early on, as early as you think can help you, because then you can prepare that holistic application and not just have all the test scores at the very last minute.